So I just wanted to do a video, break some things down, but we're just going to talk about some facts. So George Barnhill, district attorney, this is what it says in the statement that he wrote an email. It appears Travis, Greg, and Brian were following in hot pursuit a burglary suspect with solid firsthand probable cause in their neighborhood and asking and telling him to stop it. It appears their intent was to stop and hold this criminal suspect until law enforcement arrives. If there were neighborhood break-ins, then there would be reports. The police reported states that the three tried to cut him off repeatedly, and they called the third one, who actually recorded the video, Roddy. Now, Roddy's lawyer stated that Roddy doesn't know the McMichaels. Now, we know it's something if somebody calls you by your nickname, but hey, when asked about why he was recording, he refused to answer. So that's something we know you can plead the fifth. Each time Arbery ran around them and ran the other way. Now, we know criminals, if they're trying to get away, they're just going to go hide somewhere. But let's get to that. It says, Gregory, the dad, used to work for the department for about 30 years, but he hasn't been certified and finishing his trainings. Self-defense was not mentioned until after the recusal. Recusal is when they switched the case to a different department. Roddy's lawyer said that he was just trying to take a picture. Now, it is possible that you can take a picture from a video or anything like that, but even with the sound, it sounded like he was cocking a gun. That's what it sounds to me. They were yelling at him with a shotgun. The first initial investigator told Arbery's mom that it was involved in a burglary in a home and that the person was struggling with the gun. The house that was supposedly burglarized, the owner was 2 hours away and there was no doors or anything. So video was anonymously shared online. The father went online, Gregory McMichael, and bragged on social media that his son was the shooter. Now, there also was a 911 previous days ago from Travis McMichael. That was the son. And so, he saw a black person, going into a house, and it startled him, and a person went to go hide. This was at night, but we know Ahmaud was during the daytime. But I have a video on my YouTube that shows all the clips and stuff like that. But 1 Corinthians 4:5, therefore judge nothing before the appointed time. Wait until the Lord comes, and he will bring to light what is hidden in darkness and will expose the motives of men's heart or people's heart. At that time, each will receive his praise from God. Now, Genesis 15:20, but as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good in order to bring about, as it is this day, to save many people alive. So I'm going to talk about how we can use this and what we can do with it. Hosea 4:6, it says, my people perish. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because you have rejected knowledge, I will also reject you from being priests for me. Job 36:15, but by the means of suffering, he rescues those who suffer, for he gets their attention through adversity. That's the NLT version. New King James Version. He delivers the poor in affliction and opens their ears in oppression. Verse 16, BSB version. Indeed, he drew you from the jaws of distress to a spacious and broad place, to a table full of richness. So what is God trying to tell us? I know people say you can't question God, but he said he was trying to get our attention through adversity. And I remember when I was little, my mom was trying to get my attention because she was trying to tell me something. So how do we fix this justice system? So justice is a concept on ethics and law that means that people behave in a way that is fair, equal, and balanced for everyone. So imagine you got a black tire and it got a slow leak. The only way to figure out where the slow leak is to inflate the tire. So once the tire is inflated, they say you can kind of spray some bubbles and stuff like that on it and spray with like soap and water, and you spray that on the tire, and then wherever the bubbles is coming, that's where it's at. So in order to figure out, we have to inflate the tire with air. So imagine if we use some of the cases in life to figure out where the leak was at. Now, you ever play the game called Life? I know, remember a lot of y'all, but imagine if you could change the game called life. You can modify the rules of the game. See, so, if you don't like the way judges are acting, judges can be voted out. District attorneys, depending on the system in place, DAs may be elected by local voters. Now, a lot of people are calling this crime a hate crime. As you can see, the blue states have crime laws, and they also require data collection on that as well too. Gray states, they have crime laws but doesn't require data collection. I believe that they should require that. It would help us out. Red does not have any hate crimes and does not require any data collection. The 4 states that does not have any hate crimes laws are Georgia. That's what we're talking about. South Carolina, Arkansas, and Wyoming. So there needs to be a law that convicts corrupt cops and cops that use excessive force. It's from here. The bill has to be voted on by both houses of Congress in the House of Representatives and the Senate. If they both vote for the bill to become a law, the bill is sent to the President of the United States. He can choose whether or not to sign the bill. If the President signs the bill, it becomes a law. That's why it's important who we vote for a president. That's why it's important who we vote into Congress. It's not just, the Democrats and Republicans who we want to get for president. Now, 1776, the Constitution was written. April 3rd, 1973, the first cell phone was invented. December 3rd, 1992, first text message was sent. 2007, Washington was the first state to ban texting while driving. 48 states, the DC, Puerto Rico, Guam, and the U.S. Virgin Islands banned text messaging. 6,000 die yearly from crash involving cell phones. So when people started dying, they started to make a law. This is why we need to fix some things, because we see, we keep dying as well. But don't get it twisted. I know some people are like, they just feel like, all white people is bad. There is even white folks that's tired of white folks, just like there's black folks tired of black folks. But, here, you see in the picture, Robert Antrobus, he said, I run with Ahmaud. Olivia Smith and her friend, she said, speak up for justice. And it's going to take what it did back with Martin Luther King, when he had people on his team from all walks of life, saying to help him out, all different ethnicities. Martin Luther King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. John F. Kennedy said, life is not easy. There is work to be done and obligations to be met, obligations to truth, to justice, and to liberty. Malcolm X said, you're not to be so blind with patriotism that you can't face reality. Wrong is wrong, no matter who does it or says it. Frederick Douglass said, if there is no struggle, there is no progress. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet deprecate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without awful roar of its many waters. This struggle may be a moral one or it may be a physical one, but it must be a struggle. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did and it never will. So I asked you, is it about you or is it about your purpose? You can ask Harriet Tubman that question, because if it was about you, when Harriet Tubman got free, she would have stayed free. But if it was about her purpose, she would have went back and freed other slaves. Now, it's a picture right here. Lee Merritt, Esquire, civil rights attorney. See, he knows it's about his purpose and not just about him. Things that he grew up and went through. I recommend that you look him up and see what he went through, but, things that he saw. And that's why he became a civil rights attorney. And a lot of y'all, have seen some things. Some of y'all know y'all supposed to be lawyers. Some of y'all supposed to be judges. Some of y'all supposed to be, district attorneys, teachers, whatever. I'm saying, like I said, is it about you or is it about your purpose? And we can sit here and we can change these laws and just like imagine having this water bottle. It be in the justice system, and we can't tell that it has holes in it until you fill it up with water. And once you fill it up with water, then we can see where the holes are at. So many have died, don't let their lives die in vain. As you can see the picture that depicts all of those people and stuff like that, that says that, we got to do better as a people, and we can come together and we can make a difference. And, we don't have to wait until the next death, and we can see what we got to do to make a difference. I mean, Amari can be great, and we can do this, definitely prayers for the family and stuff like that. But right is right and wrong is wrong, and I know some people, we seen some people were upset because they were, pages that were supporting people, and they were talking about, listen, if you're fed just one side of the facts, then you're going to kind of go with that. And so what happens is, God gives people the opportunity under grace and mercy to do what is right. And so, if that was the case, why did they lie to whoever they did, to lie to the mother of, saying Ahmaud, saying that wasn't right. But they were doing that because they didn't think that they was going to get caught with that video. I mean, think about it. If you got an open and shut case, why lie? All you got to do is tell the truth. So, the truth came out later on when the news article and everything like that. So that's what I say. We as a people can do better, what I'm saying? And definitely we can change this justice system, and everybody can do their part. You got to make sure we got to get out and vote. We got to vote in the right people. And when the people start to change and act different, we make sure we get them out. It's as simple as that. And once you see somebody that, want to be a lawyer or doctor or whatever, encourage them, because they can make a difference. And that's what we can do as a people. And see, God is trying to wake us up. The question is, are we listening? As always, love y'all. God bless.